Welcome again to the Australian Outback. Mid-chat today I'm probably going to catch a fly in my mouth. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But as you can see, I think, can you see? There's heaps of flies around. Without further ado, let's get into today's YouTube video. Today I want to address common perspectives around mixing your training up, so having this whole hybrid training approach and how it's actually gotten a lot of slack since it's become a new thing, since running's become very trendy, and how there seems to be people pushing people away from running who are runners. So firstly, to kick things off, being someone who's been a personal trainer for the past nearly 9 years now, when you used to go to the gym, you were either someone in the general population just there to make sure that they're not fat, you're worried about your physical appearance so you could attract the opposite or the same sex, or you were a bodybuilder, a power lifter, or if you're a runner you probably weren't really going to the gym that much. Hybrid training has become this very popular mode of training, and I think it's probably the best thing that could have happened. Realistically, when we look at a lot of people's common perspective of outlook towards training in the gym, it's very much from a bodybuilding approach. When you look at the sort of physiques and training that has been popularized over the years in the mainstream media, it's been a lot of guys in men's health magazines who were fitness models who had a bodybuilding style training approach. For the women, in the years far gone, there was obviously that time frame where there was a lot of very skinny, underfed models, and there seemed to be that trend towards getting skinny and having the box gap. And it's probably good that we've established that health is important as well, which is what I would like to touch on when it comes to the physique side of things when it comes to bodybuilding training. What you don't understand is how getting dick skin lean actually affects your health. So anytime in the past that I've gotten lean, I can tell you that whilst I felt like I looked at my best at that point, I had the abs and the veins, I did not feel at my best at that point in time. So particularly when I was, holy fuck. Alright, so I'm mid YouTube video here and I'm just gonna capture this fucking live. Holy shit. Brother, have a crack at this. I'm mid YouTube video. The other day it was a bush turkey and look what it is today. Alright, so we got a little sidetrack there. It seems every day that I film out the back now, it's either a bush turkey coming through, a big lizard, or apparently a snake. So hopefully I don't see that guy anytime soon again. I'm sure he's harmless. I'm pretty sure it's a green tree snake. But I digress. So when we look at this perspective towards training over the years, there's been this massive bodybuilding approach, and our perspective as guys and girls of what is healthy and what is achievable. Typically we overlook what has to be done to achieve it and how hard it can be to sustain it at times. So for example, when you are trying to get super lean, it does take a certain amount of restriction with your diet, and in this day and age we do know that that is caloric restriction. It's controlling our energy intake and our energy output so we can reduce body fat. On the other hand, for people who want to build a lot of muscle, typically a lot of guys want to do this, but again females too, there seems to be this belief that that's going to be super easy. But in saying that, to put on muscle is very hard and requires a lot of patience as well. And then we get fed this image of what a good physique looks like these days, and the standard is so bloody high on social media because you have some guys that are absolutely jacked and lean year round because they do invest a lot into their training, their nutrition, their recovery, but they also invest a little bit into their secret supplement stack as well. And this sort of distorts the vision of what a healthy body actually looks like, or a healthy natural body actually looks like. Now, bringing hybrid training into the mix, when we shift the perspective of success in health and fitness being having a super jacked, super lean body, and we actually put other performance metrics out there, not to mention other health markers like reducing stress and reducing the likelihood of disease or illness later in life. When you have performance metrics like strength, endurance, power, you can still include body composition into this, skill acquisition. If you're looking at playing a different sport, becoming a better martial artist, becoming a better dancer, let's include that as sport, just picking up other skills. When we start to look at this other way to progress, we can start to give ourselves new ways to build a sense of competence in our abilities. And at the end of the day, the primary reason that you are committing to this bodybuilding type approach is probably because you want more confidence in your appearance. And it's not to say that having this hybrid training approach where you're doing some strength training, some running, maybe you're mixing some other modalities into it, it's not to say that that's not going to build a lean, athletic looking physique, but you are going to build a body that is probably not as jacked as the typical bodybuilders who may or may not be taking a little bit of supplementation here and there, but you are going to be building a body that is more functional, and you're giving yourself more ways to improve your self-confidence over time by having different things in your training that you can work towards, different goals, different milestones that you can start to achieve. So my outlook on hybrid training and why it has become so popular, it's obviously cool to see people achieving certain things, running really fast, doing their first half marathon or marathon. Maybe they're doing some high rocks. Maybe it's someone that is a powerlifter and they're doing a bit of running as well. I just don't think there's a lot of people who want to be really good at one thing now. I think a lot of us are developing this sort of exercise ADHD where we're hyperfixating on a certain type of training at a point in time and then we want to do something else, or we just like to have a lot of variety in our training. And the good thing about this is that we do get good health outcomes across the board as well. For example, if you're someone that just strength trains and you're not doing any sort of aerobic work, whilst you get little stimulus through the training there, you're not really enhancing how much you could get out of your overall heart health over time. So to squeeze together everything that I'm trying to get at here, I think hybrid training is going to be a very good approach for the majority of us who have general health and fitness outcomes and who do want to build a better looking body, but maybe we don't want to become bored with one style of training and we want to remove the focus from our training purely being aesthetics and also having some performance-based goals that we can start to create goals and hit milestones down through our training journey. Now, when it comes to the running side of things, obviously this is something that is massively trending at this point. You're seeing more half marathons and marathons starting to sell out quicker and quicker. It's becoming more trendy on social media. You've got run clubs coming up left, right, and center. And something that I sadly have seen in the past, and I was following a couple of pages that I thought were quite funny at first, was these guys who were actually pretty well-conditioned runners, but usually younger guys, and they see all these people getting into running and they just start to knock them and almost bully them online with some of their content. And there seems to be this condescending commentary towards people getting into running, and they're almost like, stay away from my sport. When you give someone a sport like running, whether they want to compete in it or not, or just use it as a training tool for their own health, for their own mental health, and to build some confidence in their life, and you just want to make it a laughable matter that they're getting into it, or you're paying out on the person that's trying to help them, even though that person, whilst they may need some more education, is doing their best to serve someone else. And to be honest, for the people that are paying out these people who are trying to become better coaches, hopefully that they are, and they're trying to coach people on running, or they're paying out these people who are getting into running, I think you're an absolute flog, to be honest. Like, so what, you can run fast or run quite far. I've met some people through training in the past, some of the most humble guys I know that are fighters and that could rip someone like these blokes fucking head off, but they're not out there dissing people. So to me, these people come off as very weak. That's in my own opinion. They're very insecure about people coming into their sport. Fair enough if they're calling out people at times who are causing legitimate injury or health risk to people based on the way that they are coaching them in regards to their training and their nutrition. And on the other hand too, if someone is getting to running or it's becoming a more popular thing, why can't you just be happy that people are finding a place for themselves to get into? The same thing with this concept of the hybrid athlete. If people want to get into high rocks and do something that helps benefit their own health and fitness, helps them to become more confident, mentally more healthy as well, why pay him out? Just stick to your own lane and stop trying to call out people and trying to boost your social media by getting all these interactions and engagement based off your own negativity. Honestly, I think that's fucking appalling. Now, as these rants go, they are a bit of a tangent. So I know I covered the hybrid training side of things and the running side of things as well. But what I am just gonna add on to the end of this today is just backing up that point of why I think hybrid training is such a good tool for people, but also why it's not the only tool. Something that I've talked about recently has been using training as a tool for your own physical development and obviously psychological development to a degree as well, building things like mental toughness and mental resilience. But the other thing I want to say is you need to look at the recovery side of things and other things that if you are getting into this to improve yourself, that will help you do so. Because if there's one thing I've seen within myself and other people out there who get in this hybrid training bandwagon or they start getting into running based on the information that they are taking in through social media, podcasts, audio books, they get this very mentally tough, always having to be mentally resilient approach. And I think they actually try to outlift and outrun their own trauma and their own issues with mental health, and they think that's going to fix them up totally as a person. And whilst I would never not recommend getting someone into exercise, I think this is a space that we need to start looking into as a community as well, is how can we now connect things like breath work, mindfulness, yoga, and not even just those things, but having this focus on self-development, whether it's through your own education, whether you're reading, listening to podcasts, whether if you are in a position where you are struggling even though you are exercising, maybe you need to talk to someone. I think if we can build a bit more of a focus on this in conjunction with this hybrid training approach, with people getting into running, we're really starting to head in the right direction with improving mental health. Not only mental health, obviously physical health as well. Yeah, I really think taking the time to work on yourself through exercise, but also by focusing on those points of yourself that you may have been neglecting and you may have been using exercise to kind of cover up over time, is a necessity for you to get the best outcomes from the training that you're doing as well. And obviously not just using it as a crutch. For anyone out there who's got addicted to exercise and they used to be addicted to things like drinking, like smoking weed, doing drugs, partying on the weekends, porn, gaming, whatever it may be, it is very easy to replace an addiction with another one. And even though it's positive, you've got to understand why you've got that addiction in the first place. What are you trying to run away from? What are you trying to escape within your reality or within your past? Anyway, those are just some wise words from a 28-year-old talking about, I guess, his experience, his perspective. Why am I talking about myself in third person here? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. As always, feel free to drop a comment below. I hope you took some value away from this little rant today. As I said, I'm keen to do more things like this in future. I will look to making some more structured videos, but at this point, I'm just not really finding them that enjoyable. I'd rather get on here, chat in the way that I am now, and hopefully this connects with you guys. But as always, I'm open to feedback and constructive criticism, so feel free to comment it below. If you are interested in online coaching, feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram. Reach out to me on there to learn more about that. I can talk to you about it through the messenger. Otherwise, we can book a call in. If you want to see some of the clients' results through that sort of coaching in the past, that'll be scattered throughout my social media as well. Until next time, guys, I hope you have a bloody great week, and see ya.